Go ahead.
Has Senator Manchin or Senator Sinema made clear to the president what their specific demands are for this reconciliation package?
I certainly understand your question, Caitlin, but I'm not going to speak on their behalf about what where they stand at this point in time.
Have they told the president, though, what their price tag is?
I will let them speak for what their points of view are. There have been ongoing discussions. We've been in close contact with them, as well as a range of members about the path forward.
Without saying what they are, you can't just say if they've actually told the president, here's where we
We'll
will
let them speak for what conversations they've had privately. We're not going to provide more detail from here.
Okay, and what is your understanding on what happens to the CDC and the FDA's work on the pandemic if the government loses funding this week?
Well, let me first say that it is never a good thing for the government to shut down, and that is why we are doing everything we can to prevent that from happening. Because a great deal of public health, if not all of it, most of the public health work would be exempted from a government shutdown, but that doesn't change the fact that having services shut down, staffing cut in different agencies is not in the interests of addressing any crisis we face, including the pandemic.
So will they continue to work at 100% when it comes to the pandemic response, or what is the preparation for that?
Well, we, of course, as I noted and confirmed last week, we had begun making contingency plans, as every government does, as every Office of Management and Budget does, to plan. But again, public health officials, for the most part, would be exempt. But government shutdowns also are hugely costly. They would include the cutting of staff at a range of agencies. That's not a positive thing, obviously. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jen. President Biden mentioned that this evening he'd be meeting with Democrats, as I'm sure he'll be doing all week.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can share about, it's not me this time.
It's okay.
Anything you can share
No
about,
one even remembered that until you brought it up. There you go.
about who he's meeting with, whether those meetings will be in person or on the phone?
Sure. Understand your interest. Let me just tell you that, one, we all ate our Wheaties this morning. I expect that's going to be the breakfast all week, and things are constantly changing every day and certainly even every hour. And we are evaluating. The president has some space in his schedule to make calls, to bring people down here. We're not that far from the Hill. So we will keep you abreast as these details are finalized. But we're working through that now, and I expect that will be the case for the coming days.
And then publicly, progressives like Congresswoman Jayapal, Senator Sanders have said they are open to hearing what somebody wants to cut from the reconciliation package when asked about a figure lower than 3.5. Does the White House agree that something has to go, or can all of the proposals remain but at a smaller scale?
I think this is exactly part of the discussion that's being had between members of all part of not of all parties, I should say, but many members in the Democratic Party right now. And there are a range of options, but I'm just not going to outline those or detail those from here.
And then just one more on the vaccine mandate.
Sure.
The president said he's going to Chicago on Wednesday to encourage more businesses, but the last I checked, the OSHA rule was still in the rulemaking process.
Yeah.
Do you have any update on when that will be done so businesses can implement it, and when you think that will happen?
Well, there are a number of businesses that have already implemented it, even before, or already implemented, I should say, their own requirements, even before the OSHA rulemaking had happened. So, and some of those businesses are in Chicago. United is an example, obviously. They implemented a vaccine mandate several weeks ago, and they now have had a huge increase in the number of employees who've been vaccinated. So what the president's going to continue to do is lift up private sector companies and businesses that have already put in place mandates, even as the rulemaking process is ongoing.
So there's no update on a timeline?
It's up. I would point you to OSHA. We knew it would take a little bit of time, given there are some very understandable and good questions by the business community. They want to ensure there's clarity when they put out the rules. But businesses can employ it. It's become more popular. It's been very successful in the vast majority of businesses that have implemented mandates.